Salam, welcome to another edition of Mohebban-e Fatemeh podcast.
Assalamu alayka ya Abu Abdullah. 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 Ya
This is the Akhlagh overview of this week's podcast.
If you look closely, aren't your parents the best thing in the world? Who else takes care of you? Who else is always watching after you, is concerned about you, wants you to be successful in life? Don't look at yourself now. You have now grown, you're tall and strong, and maybe take care of yourself to some extent. But go back 10 years, when you were an infant, when you were a small child, crying and begging for food. Who else was there to feed you, take care of you? Your father and mother are among the greatest ni'mat from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Imam Sajjad alayhi salam states, "Look and see if there is for you any person a great ni'mat other than your father and mother." Yes, your father and mother are great ni'mats. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given them to you out of His mercy. And even more important, they are the ones who have relayed to you the religion, the deen. Have you ever thanked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for being a Muslim, that you could have been any other person with any beliefs, but you are now a follower of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam and the Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam, and through their guidance you have been able to recognize and worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in a correct manner. Now how did this great ni'mat reach us? Who helped us in obtaining it? Who else other than our parents? If it were not for them, would we have been Muslims today? Maybe, but the chances were very slim. If it were not for our parents' teachings when we were a child, and for their concern to put us in Islamic schools and classes and make sure we study, learn, practice, and teach Islam, would we have been here today? The ni'mat of Islam and the ni'mat of walayat has been given to us by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through our parents. And so, if you think that being a Muslim and worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala the way we do is a big deal, which it is, then you will notice how indebted we are to our parents. The Prophet states that whoever is born on a fetrat of Tawheed, meaning that their souls and inner conscience are clean, and automatically upon birth they point to God and believe in Him, unless their parents make them deviate from that path. Now that we know that not only our parents are the ones that are truly loving and caring to us, but they are also responsible for us being true Muslims, doesn't that make their place special? Shouldn't we pay more attention to how we treat them? Should we act in a way to show our appreciation for all they have done for us? Or should we disrespect them, argue with them, or not pay attention to them at all? Which one makes more sense? So yes, we should treat them as best as possible, with all the respect and kindness. And that is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala exactly expects from us. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala states in the Quran, "Lower to them, your parents, the wing of humbleness, out of mercy."
وَاخْفِضْ لَهُمَا جَنَاحَ الذُّلِّ مِنَ الرَّحْمَةِ وَقُلْ رَبِّ ارْحَمْهُمَا كَمَا رَبَّيَانِي صَغِيرًا.
In other words, be as humble, modest, and obedient as possible to your parent, and not just blindly, but out of compassion and kindness. This is from Surah Isra, Ayah 24. Don't talk to them the way you talk to your friends. Don't raise your voice when talking to them. Whatever they ask, even if it doesn't make sense to you that much, obey them. Of course, the only situation which you wouldn't follow them is if they ask something un-Islamic. But even in that case, you cannot treat them badly. And so in all other cases, you must obey them. So just because you don't like what they ask you doesn't qualify you to disrespect them. That is not what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala expects from us.